What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Scandinavia AI only battle part 3. It feels so weird being part 3 because we're on turn 290. But there we go. I've also been told to press enter instead of next turn. Or not told, I knew. I don't want to sound, I don't know how this sounds, but I knew that. But you know, you just have habits, like bad habits. Yeah, I you can press enter, but as someone has brought it up, I'm happy to do that so the mouse moves a bit less. That's more than fine by me. Of course, we'll still look around, but yeah, obviously I guess there's a bit of a noise and me moving it and bringing it back every single time. It'll probably do my hand some good as well, like my wrist. I don't know, probably not good to keep moving back and clicking. So yeah, I'll do the enter thing. It didn't work just there. Maybe my key, there you go, maybe my key binds are a bit different. Enter is not, well, that was, it's not space either. Well, while we're here, let's interface options. You can't really choose buttons. I do not know. Okay, well, it just doesn't like my enter key. Maybe I have to press it once to do it, and then it'll do it after that. But either way, that is strange. But we have Sammy doing pretty well. I think it looks like they might be a bit OP. So if they do well, that's not really a surprise anymore. But some of the other civs are doing well, still defending. Finland's starting to emerge as well. Maybe it's another good civ, so we'll keep an eye on what happens. No, it just does not like me clicking enter. Don't know what that is, but there we go. That was short-lived. Maybe it's this other enter button. There's a second one on the numpad. I don't know if maybe it's that one. Two civs though, Finland and Estonia, jointly completing Manhattan projects. That would be terrifying, wouldn't it, if you lived in Helsinki or Tallinn? You wondered, are we gonna nuke each other? Because like if Estonia nuked Helsinki, the blast wave would probably come over here. No, it is neither enter key. You can tell I've never used this one. It's very jammed, but very dusty part of the keyboard. That little extra numbers on the right hand side that I've never used ever. But there we go. Sammy complete the CN tower, which is a good wonder for them. Ooh, one of these islands in the middle. Oh, we did a game where I can't remember if I was playing EU4 as a Scandinavian or nearby country, and someone told me the names of all the islands, or maybe it was another AI only. But yeah, I can't remember them, so we'll just call it Island. And yeah, it does fall to the Commonwealth, and it looks like Bergen here will also fall to the Commonwealth. Oh, just as they were getting something going. These AIs, just as the Commonwealth had something going. A huge wall of Estonian troops approaching from the east. Finland may support them or not, depending on locations. Norway has now joined in that war. Imagine losing to Norway, which is still very possible for any civ, because no one has been eliminated yet. Anyone could go at any point. But there we go. The Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth conquers the city of Bergen in the... There we go. I just lost my train of thought completely. Oh no, Norway. Maybe you jinxed yourselves there. Sammy v Norway. Although Sammy's pretty busy, so I don't know. Their troops are over here towards Sweden. We see them change directions, but Norway's got a good, decent amount of troops here to hopefully defend themselves too. But yeah, things getting messy all over the map. Commonwealth, of course, via Estonia. They did give open borders to Finland, who has a nuclear submarine. So yeah, they're pretty much end of the tech tree. Pretty close. They also have an air force. So do the Commonwealth, but theirs is smaller. Or is it smaller? There's some bombers there. We'll see. A lot of civs entering the information era. I think Estonia just joined them as they grabbed all these foreign legions. I'm not sure how up to date these guys are. They might struggle a bit actually against Great War infantry. And Finland's army also coming through as a bit of a backup plan as well. Sammy does look huge though on the minimap right now, as Sweden retakes the city of Bergen, but they might lose Uppsala here. We'll see. Meanwhile, Norway, for now at least, has not come under too much threat, but with this attack ongoing... Yep, there it is, finally. Sammy pushes in. Another blow to the Swedes as they keep moving around this way as well. I'd be worried, Denmark. They're getting closer to you. And there we go. It changes hands twice again. Huge amount of troops here, but slow progress. Again, this huge forest has really hampered a lot of progress between these two. It is so strange. Like, I get that the Sami may be overpowered, but that doesn't explain how weird some of the other AI's performances have been. Like, they've just, no one's really There's no area, apart from Sweden now falling to Sami. There's not really any area where you could say, and I guess Sweden, Norway right at the beginning. No one's really conquered anything off anyone else. It's been a very, very weird game. Sami did sneak another city in behind with some planes behind Finland. As they continue to exchange this city, the population all but gone now. But Sami has set their sights on Trondheim here instead, which could be painful for them, for Norway to lose that city, but they will probably be in a better position to defend these other cities, you'd hope. Just maybe, as the Commonwealth sneaks into Bergen again. Krakow taking a bit of a hit. Peace deal there, and the Commonwealth also grabbed Linköping here in the peace deal. That's a bit of a surprise, but there we go. Sweden happy to give that up to maybe be able to go focus back on the north. And there we go. Sami does take the city of Trondheim. They're looking very good in the north right now. I think we found our king of the north, answering the question from episode 1. Denmark and Sami now friends. Commonwealth finally settling when they need to. Poznan as well here, another new little city. I don't know if Denmark will leave them alone. They might soon grow enough borders to actually cut Denmark off from the others over this way, so we'll keep an eye on that. But yeah, there's just an army of Finns and Estonians trying to get in, but it's mostly infantry, and that is never a good strategy. You know, that's not going to work out. You need some artillery or some air power. Triplanes aren't really going to do it either. The Commonwealth are doing something else with their navy. They're just ignoring Finland and Estonia. Norway, yeah, this city's probably going to go too. That mountain will slow them down a bit, but I think Sami should be able to get through here and take Tromsø eventually. You'd think they could get it done. They have so much stuff here. I would be worried still for Finland, even with their improvements. Another city here from Finland, which actually cuts this one off. That's quite funny. Well, not funny. I don't know. Brave, maybe. You might end up getting invaded. Although it's in an awkward location on this lake, because you couldn't use this battleship really to do much to it. So they would have to bring some land units all the way around. So at least maybe an early warning signal. You could see the units coming. But yeah, no real progress here for Estonia or Finland. It's not gone to plan. It's not gone great, we'll be honest. It's not been ideal for them. The Commonwealth putting up a good defense though. I feel like once Sami hit the end of the tech tree, obviously, and we're nearly there, and with Finland and others nearly there, it does make it a bit harder. You lose that tech advantage for being first to get everything. You will lose that. By the time they probably end up fighting Finland, it will be sort of equal units, but then production obviously sort of comes into its own. And we should see them grab this city eventually. They got pretty much surrounded. Yes, that looks like it's coming. Rocket artillery probably making a big difference. 37, 36, some huge cities out here, even in the tundra. I don't actually know how that's feasible, but whatever. I guess they're making the most of these rivers and food. But there we go. Tromsø does fall to the Sami. And Denmark may end up getting Eidsvoll here. That city there. A lot of trade between Denmark. I feel like Denmark is supporting the Sami regime here with all this trade between the two. I don't actually know if Denmark is trading with them. Denmark is trading with the Commonwealth. Maybe there is some sort of teams and rivalries building up. It does look like Protestantism just dominated religion-wise. Is that what that? Yeah, that Catholic one's more of a square cross, whereas this is a long one. If that even made any sense at all. Krakow is under siege as another city falls. Oh yeah, that was okay. So Norway is gone. Oh, in the blink of an eye. Denmark. There you go. Norway. So I think I jinxed them. I said you don't want to be eliminated before Norway, and then Norway got eliminated a few turns later. The city of Stavanger going to Sami. Eidsvoll going to the Danish. And now Krakow has fallen to Estonia, which gives them complete control of this bay. They can now have access to both sort of ways in, which is pretty useful for them. And we'll see now what happens to the rest of the Commonwealth. Vilnius pretty exposed. The other cities a bit more protected, especially Warsaw down there, tucked away. But Commonwealth actually got Krakow back before Estonia has a chance to push on, try and take some more cities. We'll see. Yeah, they didn't retake it either, so that may be staying with the Commonwealth for now. This has been a pretty brutal one. Commonwealth certainly look like they've had to use most of their units on land to stay afloat. Even their naval force that looked pretty strong a few turns ago, not so good anymore. Finland is sort of contributing, but most of their units are around these major cities instead. And the Sami has they literally left the Swedish front. Sweden retook one city, but that's it. Sami is brutally just continuing. Come back, keep going. As Estonia retakes Krakow, which is absolutely devastated the surrounding region right now. A lot of smoke. As Denmark completes the Manhattan Project, I think pretty much everyone who's alive now. No. I'm guessing Sweden and the Commonwealth haven't, but the rest of them have, which is not actually that many. That's only 4, but 4 out of 7. Pretty big. Still a while to go on that world conquest of all cities belonging to one civ, but we'll keep an eye on it. Sweden is now down to 3. I believe they're the smallest in terms of number of cities that remains. Yeah, Estonia is on 4, although they're 4 really big ones, or 3 big ones and a very small one. Commonwealth actually declares war on Sweden while struggling, and Sami builds the Pentagon, which is another little bonus. They must be getting so many resources. Well, maybe we can't see strategic, of course, but definitely luxury resources for these guys. No, not luxuries. That's what I'm saying. There could be strategic resources with all these new cities. Denmark v Sweden. I don't know how this will go. Denmark does not look like they were ready to declare this war. They've got nothing around Oslo. A few submarines obviously can't do anything to the city of Stockholm. So we'll see what they're up to there. Bit of a strange approach, but obviously if Sami troops start crossing towards Stockholm, that will help. These rocket artilleries sure could do some damage. And the rest of the Commonwealth seems pretty well defended for the time being. This is pretty interesting. The one thing that we don't normally get in campaigns is normally the civs have pretty big tech. You know, the war winners genuinely have a good tech advantage, and it's not really a fair war. Here we're getting a lot of sort of modern, you know, infantry v infantry battles going on, which is quite interesting. Great firewall for the Sami will guarantee their technological dominance in this one. Oslo is now under a bit of damage, as is Linköping, which I guess Sweden must have attacked that when it was with the Commonwealth declaring war on them, but looks like Denmark will save the day just about for the Commonwealth. And Estonia pushing in still, but limited success for the Estonians. They did take Krakow. They've not even been able to really get a worker in there yet to repair everything because it's still pretty close to the front line. We'll keep an eye on it. I feel like Finland is trying to help, but not, you know, not too worried. They're not trying. Sami need 2 more cultures. Okay, Denmark take the city of Oslo. I think this time they'll be holding on to that, which may allow them to keep the Sami out. I say that the Sami have now got one coastal city at least here on this side, but 1 more. So I think the Sami has won a cultural victory. It wasn't very clear last time, but I don't think they can influence me, and I'm technically playing. So I think last time I didn't really notice this. Someone pointed it out, so they may have actually won if I wasn't spectating. But there you go. It doesn't mean anything. Like I said, we'll try and go till there's 1 left. We'll try and get to 2 left, and then I'll just force them to fight, essentially. As I've remembered, we can do that now. But yeah, Sweden should miss out there, yes. And now it's down to just 2 cities. Sami or Denmark, or Commonwealth. I guess any of them could end up with these. It would be interesting. Sami and Denmark have been pretty good friends until now, so if the Danes were to get them. But there is some settlers still out there. Both Sweden has one. That will obviously have to dodge a few units trying to capture it. If it is to have a good turn, they are moving it this way. And Sami also has one here as well, which they will put down. Finland is definitely on size. They're not as big as Sami, but they're getting there. They've just grown into this area very, very well. I mean, if they conquered someone like Estonia, they'd be right in it, which is obviously a huge if. But like, if that happened somehow, it would be pretty big. Even if Estonia took out the Commonwealth, they'd be a big contender as well. So we'll keep an eye on everything that's happening. But so far, Sweden clings on. Stockholm, it's being attacked, but mildly. And the Commonwealth actually got Krakow back. Look at this Danish cargo ship. They're like, war? What war? Just sailing on through the city that's absolutely smashed up into Tallinn. they don't care. They're just like, yeah, it'll be fine. Just keep sailing forwards. What's the worst that could happen? There we go. Sweden actually did manage to grab a third city. I don't know how long that will last, but small little addition to what remains of their empire. And there's another city as well for the Sami. If only Norway. I feel like that would have changed this game. If Norway maybe, I guess not even spawned more that way, but if they'd have just focused on, you know, what is actual Norway in real life, you know, along this coast, instead of sort of antagonizing Sweden by settling right next to them straight away and going north of Sweden. That was obviously not going to work out for them. So yeah, if all these cities, if these were all Norway cities, they'd be very hard to attack, and I think that would have held Sami back. And maybe they could have teamed up with Sweden, could have done some cool stuff. That certainly would have helped. And like I said, yeah, maybe a bit more aggression from one of these three. Like if one of them takes out even just one of the others, they'd be a contender, I think, for the victory. But at the moment, they're all sort of mid-tier. Maybe Finland is... Yeah, Finland's definitely better. But again, if they're not going to attack anyone, I can't really influence that. But yeah, Finland has a lot of stuff. I think they're prepared. They are expecting it. You can see Sami with a ton of stuff up here in the north as well. Okay, Estonia now declares war on Denmark. Finland joins that conflict. Now, Finland should be able to grab this city. But apart from that, I think Denmark will sort of avoid getting involved. There's not too much need for them to be in there. World Ideology Order failed, but Denmark was embargoed. The Sami, Commonwealth and Denmark all currently embargoed. So Denmark, that's going to hit their economy. Usually with the AIs, I mean, we can't see, but usually they store a lot of gold and then they get embargoed or spam out units at the end and it starts to deplete, but it still takes a while. So I wouldn't say it's a crisis right now. But soon it will get pretty bad for Denmark. But obviously the Sami are doing just fine without any trade. They're just obviously going to have to rely on their own gold activities as they complete the space telescope as well. But yeah, I'm guessing from that, maybe Finland and Estonia dominating the World's Congress. I mean, Finland with 6 votes. And there's 4 for Estonia. Sami, Denmark and Commonwealth have 4 each. And then Sweden has another 4. So I guess if Sweden, Finland and Estonia teamed up, they could outvote the other side. And then obviously sometimes these aren't always going to agree with each other. Denmark probably voted to embargo the Commonwealth and Sami. Maybe not Sami, they're friends, but definitely the Commonwealth. And maybe the Commonwealth didn't vote to not, you know, embargo these guys. They may have not. So they weren't always working together potentially. But yeah, Finland, finally, I think it's their first bit of aggression. Where they're actually going to take a city. Did they take one off Norway maybe at some point? Maybe, but definitely... The first I can remember in a while, which is pretty bad, right? So we're 58 minutes of gameplay in over 3 days, but never mind. Finland should grab this, which will give them a pretty solid border with Sami. It sets us up pretty nicely. Sweden's still doing just fine everywhere else. Estonia is really struggling here. I think Finland stopped helping them as well. Finland's obviously focused on other things, such as taking this city, as the Sami grab this island, which actually blocks off Estonia and Finland from coming up to this new city, but it was a bit late. It's not going to prevent them taking it. Some very strategic settlements, I feel, that are just like designed to stop people getting through. Particularly this one gives Sami control. They're probably going to lose contact with it eventually, but I mean, even here, Estonia and Finland, they have to be friends to get open borders. But I'm looking at the borders. I mean, they're still trading, but Finland's moved every unit out of Estonian territory. Maybe we're going to see Finland make that move against Estonia. I mean, it would be now or never. I'd love to see it. Hopefully we can. But that will be it for this episode. So as always, if you have enjoyed, be sure to leave a like and a comment down below. Be sure to subscribe as well if you are new to the channel. And I guess if there's any other regions you want to suggest, I've had a few. China was suggested. The Balkans has been suggested. India was suggested. But any other regions... and maybe if you do know maps, obviously I'm just sort of currently using the random not random, what they call the scrambled nations ones in the main game, but there's not too many. A few of them we've done, like France, Italy, Britain already, so quite a few we've done. But yeah, there are some different ones on there we can try as well. And I think there's scrambled continents as well, which we could also have a look at. But yeah, thank you so much for tuning in, and I'll see you in the next one.